Good day and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at Plunderstorm and the new and improved version of Plunderstorm that has come to World of Warcraft. Now before we begin, there are some basics you need to understand about Plunderstorm. Plunderstorm is a 60-player battle royale game mode, completely different to World of Warcraft. You do not have to even have played World of Warcraft technically to be able to play Plunderstorm. It has almost zero relation to the game, barring the base engine that it's in. You do need an active World of Warcraft subscription or game time. Plunderstorm is accessed from the World of Warcraft retail menu. Progression in Plunderstorm is completely separate from the main game. However, any cosmetics that you get in Plunderstorm are going to be crossed over to your main account. There are three main game modes, which we'll take a look at later: solos, duos, and a practice game mode. And the rewards are account-wide, so everything that you get will be available in both retail and classic World of Warcraft. To access Plunderstorm is pretty straightforward. You will need to have World of Warcraft retail, so not World of Warcraft Classic. You have to download retail if you have a classic subscription, just so you can access Plunderstorm. When you are here at your character selection menu, you can select the Plunderstorm limited time event. Once you do this, it will switch you over and you will have a randomly generated character. Before you join the game, you can customize said character, and there are, the usual customization options that you have. You'll be automatically connected to a server that is available, and you cannot change your realm, so it's based entirely on your location. Yes, Plunderstorm. So previously you would have to play a whole bunch of matches in Plunderstorm and slowly work up your renown with a group called Keglex Crew. If you got up to rank 40, you would collect all the rewards. This time around it's a little bit different. We'll talk about how you can get plunder, but you earn plunder through playing the game. You will earn it through a whole bunch of methods. We will talk about that in the next section. But plunder that you earn from matches can be exchanged in the Plunder store. There are returning rewards from the previous Plunderstorm, and there is a whole bunch of other fantastic rewards that you can get. So there's a whole bunch of pets that you can see here. There's a whole bunch of mounts: the Silver Tide Stallion, the Royal Seafarer, the Polly Roger, Plunderlord's Midnight Crocolisk, which is new and really awesome, and Hook Talon, who's also new and really awesome. It may seem like a lot, but getting plunder is actually not too bad, and we'll talk about it just now. There are toys, which is pretty cool. There is a whole bunch of Traders Tender that you can purchase if you are someone who's looking to catch up on Traders Tender for your collector's caches. There are different weapon transmogs that you can buy, which is pretty cool, including this really awesome collection of shovels. But hey, whatever. But there's a whole range of really awesome rewards. Obviously, the big ticket items are going to be the mounts. I think most players are going to find the mounts the most attractive, I'm not going to lie. But there's a ton of great pirate-themed transmog that if you're someone who is super into pirates, if you were someone who was a huge fan of Pirates of the Caribbean, which maybe I was, you can definitely come and get yourself a bunch of great stuff. And a lot of it is really cool, honestly speaking. Now, of course, this isn't the only stuff you can get. There's one or two like achievements in that, but generally what they've done with it is they've stuck everything in the Plunder store. So even if you're not good at the game, like even if you are not good at like the game, if you never win a game of Plunderstorm, you don't have to worry. You can still get all the rewards, so that's really awesome. So let's talk about how you can attain plunder in Plunderstorm. So you can get plunder from multiple ways. You can get plunder by picking it up off the ground. You can get plunder by defeating enemies. You can get plunder by defeating enemy players. You can get plunder from golden chests, which you can find around the map. Here you can see some plunder on the ground. And you will get 500 plunder should you win a match of Plunderstorm. So there's definitely a lot of incentive and a lot of ways to grab plunder. On top of that, one of the easiest ways or the best ways for players to grab plunder is going to be if players were to basically, how can I say, like not win, but complete these captain's orders. So when you start a match of Plunderstorm, you will attain captain's orders, and the captain's orders basically will give you a mission per round of Plunderstorm. These missions are pretty basic and can range from opening chests to defeating enemies, and you can see even just by playing a very brief match Plunderstorm, I managed to get like 1,000 plunder. Obviously, your captain's orders gives you a ton of plunder per day. Your first captain's order you complete will give you 800 bonus, but you can get captain's orders in subsequent matches. So it's not just something that's tied to only doing, once per day. You can get captain's orders with pretty much every single match. So let's talk about the basics of Plunderstorm. When you start a match of Plunderstorm, you will be placed into the lobby. The lobby will be a housing area where you can try out a whole bunch of different things, customize your character, you can go and test out different spells, and basically just try out different portions or different parts of the game while you wait for your lobby to fill up. Once the lobby is filled up, the match will start. When the match starts, you will be given an option of auto-spawning in. Previously, you would have to manually glide to where you go, but now they give you an option. The red indicators are generally places where a lot of players will go, but may have better rewards. Green will indicate where fewer players are going, and then yellow will indicate the kind of a medium or median style area where players are going. Once you've selected your starting location, you'll be shot out of the cannon and the match will begin. Whenever you start the match, you will be given one ability, and then your goal is to open chests and also to defeat enemies. Defeating enemies will give you a chance to spawn more abilities, but also will, importantly, level you up. You also will be given a Captain's Orders quest every single match, which will give you some bonus plunder when you complete it. So even if you are not defeating enemies or doing things like that, just by completing the bonus quests, you may end up giving yourself a huge chunk of plunder, which is great. So defeating enemies will level you up, and obviously getting items and picking up plunder from the ground, as mentioned in the plunder section, is going to be big incentives. So one of the main aspects of Plunderstorm is the Battle Royale-like environment. Slowly the map will close in, and you will eventually be moved into smaller and smaller spaces where you will be facing more and more players. The longer you survive, the more the map will close in, and the more you are likely to come across other players. So it's a very, very Fortnite Battle Royale style game, if you've ever played one of those. One of your main methods of growth is taking on enemies. Enemies have a whole range, but generally speaking, the enemies in the beginning are quite easy to defeat. I highly suggest you use your abilities. They will all give you different bits of EXP. From time to time, different elites or ultra rares will appear on the map, and by defeating these characters, you will get very rare abilities and items. However, you are more likely to encounter players. On top of that, you can also find elite enemies around the map as well. These enemies will do a lot, but generally speaking, they will give you more EXP, more loot, and also a whole bunch of different abilities. Leveling up does a variety of abilities, but one of the main things that it does that's super important is it increases the power of your spells, as well as giving you more health, and it increases the power of your attack. Your spells don't increase in power too much, but it's more the health boost that's super important, as well as, of course, the power of your right-click or auto-attack. In Plunderstorm, you have kind of, I want to say, three main sets of abilities. You have your offensive abilities tied to your 1 and 2. These will give you damaging based abilities and can range from ranged attacks to melee attacks to cone attacks to a whole bunch of different ones. Then you have your utility abilities mapped to your 3 and 4. These generally are ways to escape or provide protection, or are basically anti-CC abilities, pretty much anything that is available to give you good strength. And then finally you have your utility item, which generally speaking is just an item that can add different types of purposes. It can be for escaping, health, damage, there's a whole bunch of them. You can choose which abilities you swap out by just left or right clicking when you hover over an ability, and obviously you can choose whichever ones you want and that best suits you. So I highly suggest you get comfortable with them. I will probably do a video on which ones are the best, since, you know, it'll be interesting to see if things have changed. Some have changed since the last time, so definitely give it a try. Ranking up your abilities is important. Abilities have a variety of ranks, totaling in at purple being the final rank. You can collect higher rank abilities from high rank chests or rarer chests, but you can also just rank up abilities by collecting them from the floor. If you collect 3 additional copies of the ability on top of your standard ability, you will be able to have a better time and be able to cause some serious damage to the opposition. The ranks will increase the power of your abilities, as well as also, of course, giving you a lot more options in terms of what you want to do with those abilities, which is obviously great. So there's a ton of incentive for them, and I think realistically it's a lot of reasoning to upgrade your abilities by playing, taking out enemies, and just in general doing a lot, which I think is really, really good. Chests are an important part of the game. You can find a variety of different chests. A lot of them will all of them will give you EXP the moment you open them. Chests also can range from having rare abilities, like for example the purple chests that contain elite abilities, or they can be chests that contain standard abilities. They can also be golden chests, and these chests will essentially give you, like a whole range of plunder, which is really, really great. Of course, you may not win your game of Plunderstorm, and that's okay. A lot of the times you will still earn a very good amount of plunder just by playing 1 or 2 matches. Like I said, completing your captain's orders is going to be one of the better ways to collect plunder, and you can pretty much rack up several hundred plunder even if you just play a game for a few minutes. There's not really anything else. If you do manage to win a game of Plunderstorm, the most that you will get is the first rate mate buff, which is just simply a bragging buff, and basically you will also get the Plunder Wonder achievement, which is account wide, which is for winning Plunderstorm. Even the cosmetics you get from winning a match of Plunderstorm can be attained through adventure tracks later on, so it's really not anything too crazy to win a match. Really, the goal is to participate and have fun more so than anything else. Overall, since the last Plunderstorm, I will say the gameplay feels much, much faster. The matches feel faster, the leveling process feels faster, gathering loot in general, finding chests, and just doing things in general feels faster. Even collecting plunder and the rewards tracks seems faster. After playing just 2 or 3 matches, I very easily had enough to get myself some pretty good rewards, and after just 4 or 5 matches, I had enough to basically play or claim like a whole chunk of other rewards. So it was really, really cool, and I highly suggest that players give it a try because there's a ton of great rewards you can get. So that is that. Basically, have a blast, enjoy yourself, and don't worry too much about winning or losing. At the end of the day, we're all here for the same thing: loot and mounts. You can very easily, in 1 or 2 evenings of Plunderstorm, if you play a couple matches, easily get a whole bunch of mounts. And if you play with your friends and just have a good time, I bet you that you'll be able to rack up all the cosmetics really without a huge amount of commitment. Plunderstorm is up for a total of a month, and based on this current Plunderstorm, it seems like they will be bringing back the cosmetics with every subsequent Plunderstorm. So if you do miss out or are obviously, unable to participate in this one, I'm sure that at the next Plunderstorm you will be able to have a good time. So you should be able to grab yourself some good rewards. So don't panic, enjoy yourself, and have a great time. I will cover what we can cover in the next video about what the best abilities are and things of such nature for Plunderstorm. I think it'll be really cool, but for now, have a great time, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, take care, stay safe, and enjoy I'll see you guys, and hopefully you can get the win, because I sure as hell won't. I'm not good at this game. Thanks for watching. Take care, stay safe, and bye.